Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Hot Mic, everybody, on this second day of June, 2026. I am Dom Izzo, host of said show, ready to rock and roll. After, I would say, an unusually busy Monday for June, we had a lot happen both locally and nationally yesterday. Not expecting that on a Monday in June. Normally Mondays in June, like, okay, what do we got today? But that was not the case when you have a major NFL trade times two go down. You had college football decide to drop its playoff schedule, which will have everybody up in arms because it's going to take about 50 days to play it, which is unlike any other sport. Not even hockey goes as long as college football's postseason. We'll get to that coming up later on in our show. We had a bunch of high school games going on. College baseball is still insane. College softball was fantastic. If you missed that yesterday, you missed out. Texas and Texas Tech both had to win two games yesterday. Both won them both to advance to the championship series, which will start tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. Texas had beat Tennessee twice over. Texas Tech walked off Alabama in the first game and then beat them again the second time through. It was great drama there if you were watching that. Kudos to ESPN. They laid out everything else that was on the big network yesterday. That was a lot of fun. So, again, if we have more Mondays like that, we're going to be in August before we know it. So that was an okay Monday to start the week. It was an okay Monday for the Minnesota Twins as well. We were here yesterday lamenting after they lost for the fifth game in a row against the Pirates. They had a Joe Ryan start last night at Target Field. There were a pair of drone shots used. And no, Corey Provis has talked to us about this, that their Monday home games, they are going to dress up a little differently television presentation-wise. And I was remarking in this as we got home from T-ball last night that school is out for not a large majority of Minnesota schools, but a fair share. I don't know if they should use the drone shots until there's better crowds because you can tell here as we show you the highlights, there was not many, again, at Target Field last night. They're right now in a wild card spot. They got after the White Sox last night. Trevor Larnach started it with a base hit to center. That scores. Brooks Lee makes it 1-zip home guys. We're tied at 1. If you knew who Tristan Gray was before the season, you are an elite baseball mind. I didn't. Most Twins fans didn't. He has 2 grand slams this season. 5-1 Minnesota. Back comes Chicago. This guy's still around. Andrew Benintendi. Remember when he was hitting home runs for Boston, then Kansas City? Now he's with Chicago. That was a 400-foot bomb. It's 5-4. Bottom of the 5th. Austin Martin just keeps playing some good baseball. Opposite field hit to score. Cody Clemens makes it 6-4. Victor Caratini, another opposite field hit. This one out to left. Scores. Josh Bell makes it 7-4. Minnesota. Later, it's 8-4 when Gray drives in his 5th run of the game in an unconventional sac fly. That's an incredible catch over the shoulder, but Martin beats it out. That's a fabulous play. And then to still make a throw on the money at home, pretty good. Martin just beat it out. 9-4 score when the White Sox would cut into the lead on a laser beam home run off the bat of Miguel Vargas. That made it 9-6, but the Twins got the last couple outs they need from Travis Adams, and they win the opener of this set after the White Sox took 3 of 4 from Minnesota last week in Chicago. They win it 9-6 last night. Joe Ryan, not pictured, goes 6 innings, allows 8 hits and 4 runs, and struck out 9 to get above 500. He's now 4-3 on the season. Cody Funderburk, Gomez, and Adams worked the last 3 innings of relief. Game 2 comes up tonight at Target Field. You'll have Davis Martin throwing for Chicago. Connor Prelip will be on the mound for Minnesota. That's the matchup coming up tonight, 6:30 at Target Field. Again, they're 28-33. Just there's a lot of bad baseball going on right now in the American League. It's hard to figure out now. We're the second day of June. You think by now we'd have a good understanding of where things are at with teams and who's good and who's not. And I think we know who's really good at the very top. Yankees are good. Rays are good. After that in the American League, Guardians are okay. The Mariners are just above 500. I mean, the American League West should not be absolved from any strays as well. Texas, Sacramento, Houston, and the Angels are all very bad, all under 500. We know what's going on in the American League East. Toronto has been besieged by injuries. Orioles are under 500. Red Sox already canned their manager. There's not a whole lot of good baseball teams going on in the American League. So, who knows? Maybe you can hang around and be around 500 and be a playoff team this year in the American League. Okay, I mentioned this yesterday, and I thought a little bit more of on the NCAA baseball tournament and how preposterous my statement was yesterday. And then I saw what happened in the, 6 games that happened to finish out the first round of the NCAA baseball tournament. And I will stand by what I said, that now, because I tweeted it out yesterday, the NCAA baseball tournament this weekend, you had mid-majors winning, you had thrilling walk-offs, you had top overall seeds getting beat. What does that sound like that used to happen in March, right? The NCAA basketball tournament is devoid of all of that now. There are no mid-major upsets. There are no overall seeds, top seeds losing in the first weekend. There is hardly any buzzer beaters or drama. It's all shifted to baseball. And it's not to say, again, that baseball is absent of mid-majors moving up to higher major schools in the portal, because it is happening. But baseball, for some reason, has caught some sort of fever, because this past weekend you had some of the most electric finishes I can remember. I've been watching this tournament for better part of a decade and a half. This weekend took the cake. Let's show you what happened yesterday. We'll start with St. John's. They go to Tallahassee. They beat Florida State, the number 2 overall seed, 5-4. Red Storm are moving on to the Super 16s, as is Oklahoma. They beat Georgia Tech on a walk-off home run. Mind you, they're at Georgia Tech's field. Don't even get me started on that. But they win 8-7 in 10 innings. The Sooners are moving on to next weekend's Super Regionals. Not to be outdone is Troy. Jamal Kennedy, stand up. His alma mater is still playing. The Trojans went to Florida in Gainesville and beat the 8 overall seed. Troy will play Little Rock, a matchup of the Trojans in the Sweet 16 in baseball. So Florida out, Florida State out, Georgia Tech out. These are 3 of the top 8 seeds of the tournament are donezo. Not to be outdone as well. Again, we showed you yesterday the Kentucky-West Virginia regional was on fire. West Virginia rallied to force a Game 7. Then last night, tied at 5, bottom of the 10th. Mountaineers get a base hit in the bottom of the 10th to walk off and beat Kentucky. And West Virginia moves on with a 6-5 extra inning win. And they will host next weekend in the Super 16. Just fabulous baseball that's gone on over the last handful of days. So if you're scoring at home, and I know many of you are, the number 1 overall seed got beat. That was UCLA. Out. Number 2 overall seed was Georgia Tech. Out. Florida. Out. This is who we have left, more importantly. Cal Poly, Arkansas Little Rock, Troy, St. John's, this is a pretty good baseball school, St. Mary's. We couldn't get our friends from Milwaukee through. They lost to Auburn. But that is part of it. Kansas has never been this far. They're still alive. Ole Miss is still playing. And then you've got some of the usuals. Georgia's there, Texas, Alabama, USC, Mississippi State, Oregon, North Carolina might be the heads-on favorite to win it. By the way, one of their best players was playing in Fargo the last 2 years. And Auburn. So you got a little bit of everything there that's left in the Sweet 16 of college baseball. And some may just be waking up to it now. I'm here to tell you, the reactions are great. The drama is high. It's pretty darn good. We'll find out the exact locations and times probably as the show is going on this morning, as the Sweet 16 will resume coming up on Friday across the variety of ESPN networks. That was fantastic. So as that was happening yesterday, I had that on. I had the softball game on in the office. The last thing that popped, I wasn't expecting any massive football news yesterday. We knew the A.J. Brown deal was going to happen. That's been basically reported for the better part of 2 months, that the Eagles were going to trade A.J. Brown to the Patriots, which they did. The Eagles, of course, get a number 1 pick back, which is Howie Roseman fleecing again, which is just remarkable on how he's able to do that. We did not expect Myles Garrett to be traded yesterday, the man who broke the NFL single-season sack record this year with the Cleveland Browns. But that's what went down. That the Rams, who have decided that 2026, they have the Super Bowl in their stadium. They've already won it once in their home stadium. Want to do it again this year. They re-sign Matthew Stafford. They have all the pieces, and apparently they were missing maybe one, even though I thought they had a pretty good edge rusher in Jared Verse. They gave up him to the Cleveland Browns. This is the deal. The Rams love it that they go and do this. We'll get... Let me make sure I get this trade right. The Rams are getting Myles Garrett. It's a little confusing on the graphic here. The Rams are getting Garrett. The Browns are going to get Jared Verse, who we saw play in Fargo at the University of Albany before he transferred to Florida State and became the NFL Rookie of the Year as a first-round pick from the Rams a couple years ago. The Browns will get a first-round pick next year, 2027, a second-round pick in 2028, and a third-round pick in 2029. That's a massive haul. If you're Cleveland, which you're still trying to figure out your quarterback situation, moving on from a guy like Myles Garrett, who's been there 9 years. He was the number 1 overall pick when the Browns took him out of, I believe, Texas A&M. Now he goes and has a chance. I mean, he's played in, I think, 2 playoff games. That was the COVID year when the Browns bubbled up there with Baker Mayfield. They beat the Steelers, and they scared the Chiefs for a little bit in that divisional round game. That was it for playoff experience for Myles Garrett. Cleveland hasn't been very good because they've had 18 quarterbacks over the last 4 years, including Baker Mayfield being one of them. Now they go and make this deal. They're set up here with multiple picks, and they got a few picks as well from Jacksonville, you'll remember, because the Jags and the Browns swapped a year ago for Jacksonville to move up and take Travis Hunter. Now they've done this again with the Rams. So nothing like a monster trade on a kind of sleepy Monday to wake up everybody across the National Football League. The NFC West, you've got the reigning Super Bowl champions there with Seattle. You got the 49ers, who believe they're pretty darn good. The Rams are all in, who scared the heck of the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. And then the Cardinals are just sitting there wondering, if they're ever going to get Jacoby Brissett to sign to be their starting quarterback this year, since Kyler Murray left and is now with the Minnesota Vikings. Look out, NFC West again in 2026. We have a packed show coming up for you. Our guest lineup is brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. We'll get it started here in just a few minutes. We'll head down south to Oxbow, where right about now the first tee shots are being hit for the North Dakota Boys State A Golf Tournament. Our guy Corey Herlickson will preview that. He is, of course, the head pro at Oxbow. And the high schoolers getting a chance on North Dakota's toughest track. That's pretty good stuff, and there's some really good golfers out there. We'll preview that with Corey coming up in just a few minutes. Our guy Mike McFeely will be here in studio at 9:35. Give us an NBA Finals preview with the Spurs and the Knicks. We'll chat some other topics as well with Mike. We'll do that at 9:35. Our second hour is loaded with some really impressive North Dakota athletes. At 10 o'clock, Luke Starcevic is back with us. The Kindred Monster made it official yesterday. He'll be heading to the ACC and play with Clemson. He was there this weekend on an official visit. He committed officially yesterday. We'll visit with the Viking superstar about heading down to Death Valley and play in the ACC with Clemson. Pretty good stuff for a guy. We had him on, I want to say, about 18 months ago before things blew up. Since then, he's had about 25 offers and becomes the latest North Dakota kid to head to Power 4 football. And then at 10:35, really excited to have on Velva standout, future Bison track star, I believe. Anya Olson will join us after 5 state championships over the last 2 years. She won the 100, the 200, and the 400 last year. She took the 200 and the 400 this year in state track. She'll join us at 10:35 to chat about a really kind of wild season, including pretty serious injury that she sustained as well. She'll join us at 10:35. So a lot to get to here over the next hour and 45 minutes or so. So we'll take our first break. We come back. We'll head to the golf course. Get ready for the State A boys teeing off at Oxbow. Corey Herlickson will join us when Hot Mike returns on WDAY Extra, KSFL, KMBN, and Inforum.com.
This is Hot Mike with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Welcome back, everybody. We're off and rolling here on a busy Tuesday. Got a lot to cover over the next hour and 40 minutes or so. About 20 minutes ago, we had the first T-balls hit down at Oxbow Country Club to start the North Dakota Boys Class A Golf Tournament back at well, I think the toughest track in North Dakota, which is a pretty good deal for the best golfers in Class A, which means a good chance to visit with old friend Corey Herlickson, head pro down at Oxbow after slumming it over in Moorhead for a while at the Meadows. Now he's a big league down at Oxbow, but it's great to see him again. How you doing, man? It's been a long time.
It has.
Oh, connection here. It's coming. Here we go. We think we can get it.
I got you. I'm going to take it off of Wi-Fi.
Okay, brother. That sounds good. I'll preview this here while you get yourself set up there. So we mentioned the next 2 days, Class A tournament getting going at Oxbow beginning just about 20 minutes ago. The first tee shots were hit, and the tournament goes all the way till tomorrow with some of the very best golfers in North Dakota going to be featured down there. Which I believe second time in about 4 years Oxbow has hosted. I know it had the girls tournament down there a few years ago. We'll see. I don't know if the connection will work here or not. I was looking at some of the best golf scores here over the last little bit. You got the usual suspects there. Cheyenne figures to be in the mix like they always are. Out west has got some really dynamite teams. Grand Forks Red River might have been the team to beat and then did not win at EDC last week when that was played. At Boyd Stu. I think we got him a little bit back now. You got me now?
Yep, I got you. You got me?
I got you, brother. All right, give us first the lowdown on Oxbow hosting again.
It was one of those things where we hadn't hosted here in a couple of years, and we have some parents who are members at the club who have kids that are golfing on the Class A side. I mean, not only do we have members here who have kids that go to Kindred High School, but we have members that have kids that go to Davies and Cheyenne and Horace and also to Fargo-Shanley as well. So one of the things was trying to have the opportunity to get these kids to play our golf course sometime in their high school career at a state tournament. And it was kind of Tom Baumgartner, the parent of Tommy, was the one who kind of put it in my ear. And I said, I'll gladly ask the board, and brought it up to the board, and the board was more than happy to do it. And it's one of those things that it gives back to junior golf, which is, as everyone says, the future of golf. So if there's a way that we have an opportunity to showcase our golf course and our facility to those across the state, the members are going to take a jump at it. Not every year, but like you said, the last time we had it was the Class B boys state tournament, and it went over well.
I have to ask here, knowing that you only get so many days to do it, just would you have to twist any arms with the members, or is this something, hey, there's enough that we're supporting it that this is going to happen?
Yeah, there's enough that are supporting it. Everyone gets that. I mean, they really do. It's not much of a problem. I mean, it is difficult taking a course for 3 days from your membership during this time of year, especially with the April and May we had. It might have to twist arm a little harder, but it wasn't too difficult at all.
I have to ask, your experience of hosting, you hosted so many events when you were running over at the Meadows. How much does that experience help you? You know the drill. You've done this before. How much does that help for these next few days?
It pays off a lot. Having that experience of hosting different events. When I was in Las Vegas, we hosted tournaments there. We actually hosted a PGA Tour event for 2 years, and I worked the Phoenix Open, which is now the Waste Management. Every tournament is a little bit different, though, Dom. They all have their own little idiosyncrasies and things that are important to the tournament director and the tournament organization. So you can kind of count on certain things to be very static things, and other things to be you don't know what's coming at you. And the big thing is preparation in advance. You got to be prepared beforehand. There's always curveballs thrown your way, like the potential weather we got coming on Wednesday. So,
tell me about setting up the course, and first how the course looks, what kind of shape it's in, and then what's the setup for these 2 rounds that's going today and tomorrow.
So the course, relatively speaking, we had a very difficult winter with weather. We had a lot of days where it heated up into, the upper 30s or even into the 40s. And then shortly thereafter, maybe a day or two, it got down into the teens. So every golf course, if you played in the area, is dealing with ice damage. It's what happens is the snow melts, then it gets cold and freezes, and that freezes onto the grass. And that is not good for the grass. So you end up seeing what looks like white patches or very light brown patches out there. So we've got some of those areas. The good news is we are playing those areas down. It's not as if it's dirt, it's all grass. Okay. It's just dormant grass that's not going to come back. So we've replanted those areas, and we've done what we could with them. I played a couple times in the last 2 weeks and was able to play out of those areas no problem. So we're playing them down. So it's good, relatively speaking. We're very pleased with the advancement that it's made. Our superintendent, Dave Woods, did a great job with that. He knows how to grow grass, I'll tell you that much. As far as course setup, we're playing at 6,550-ish yards. There are a couple holes, like today we're going to take hole number 6, and we're moving that tee forward. So it's a potentially drivable par 4 to make it a little fun, kind of U.S. Open PGA Championship setup. And then we're going to do the same thing with 11 tomorrow, move that forward, so potential of driving the green. But we are playing some holes very long. So what we've got out is we've got the black tee markers is what they're playing, but those black tee markers are on some green, some gold, some blue, and some black. Okay. So they're not just getting your stock 6,500 yardage blue and gold combo. You're getting a strong mix of all over the place, and hole locations will be fair, but will be testy. If you hit it in the right spot, there's advantages to be taken. If you miss it in the wrong spot at Oxbow, no matter what the whole location is, you're going to pay.
Tell me on your excitement about doing this. You're connected to the high school game for a long time. Just a chance to be back with these guys for the last few days. What's that been like for you?
It's fun. It's always good interacting with the coaches, especially when you don't know them, getting to know some of those coaches from way out west that we don't see. Right. Even some of the East coaches we don't see because we don't host a Class A event here, and I'm so busy I don't get a chance to go watching this stuff in the spring. The other thing that's really nice, obviously, is just watching the kids come in and play. They come in with a lot of confidence and feeling good, but, the nervousness of not knowing the golf course, and is your game going to hold up to the challenge that Oxbow poses. And throughout the next 2 days, it's really fun to watch them circumvent or walk their way through the course and see the highs and the lows and watch the score on I Wanna Maker, and a guy goes birdie, 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 but then all of a sudden goes double, double, and you're like, oh man, what is this guy? I wonder what's going through his head right now. How is he going to recover? So that's the fun part of it too.
All right, I know you got to get going. Last thing, you said you got to play? You actually have enough time to play? I'm stunned by that over the last couple weeks.
Well, it was Thursday, and then the time before that was 2 weeks before that. So, yeah, a little bit. Play as in very singular.
You got a U.S. Open pick for me in a couple weeks. It's Shinnecock, which is, the hardest golf course in the world. So what do we think the winning score could be in a couple weeks?
Winning score, without knowing weather, I'm going to throw it out there. Probably 2-3 under would be my guess. Go with the favorites. I know JG Spawn won last year, but that was a miracle because of what happened with the rain and everything on the back nine. If you got money, go with the favorites. Go with the guys that have been playing well.
It's great to see you, bud. I know you're a busy man. Thanks for making time, and have a great couple days. We'll catch up soon, all right?
All right, thanks for having me on.
There he goes. Corey Herlickson joining us from Oxbow Country Club. The boys Class A got underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Highlights are coming up later tonight on WDAY Sports. We'll be out there both today and tomorrow as they crown a champ. Awesome that they get a chance to play Oxbow. You heard Corey describe what they've got set up, which looks like a interesting mix of both holes and locations of what they've got out there for the next couple days. Be fun to see. And we'll talk to the winner, I would imagine, Thursday or Friday this week, because we do that each and every year as well. Let's break. We come back. Our guy Mike McFeely waiting in the wings. Lots to discuss always with Michael. His appearances coming up on the other side of the break. Hot Mike returns right after this.
Oh, it's Mr. McFeely.
I have seen the future, and he was wearing number 5, and I ain't talking about Robbie Grimsley, folks.
Took out the muffins, took out the trail mix, took out the cookies. They stole the monster cookies.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's do some broadcasting.
Yeah. Mike's appearance on Hot Mike is brought to you by Sunset Lanes of Moorhead.
Yes, it is, as he welcomes us on a Tuesday at 9:30. Great to see you, bud. Of course, you go to Sunset now, get a pass for the entire summer for $40.
$40.
$40,
yeah.
Go and do that all summer long over in North Moorhead. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Getting ready for, we're going to talk some NBA Finals coming up in our next segment. Got Spurs and Knicks coming.
Okay, I want to start. I need to ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
I need to ask you some questions.
Me?
So you're from Oswego.
I am.
Which is like the sticks of New York State.
Well, there's other smaller parts of New York. But okay.
You're a Mets fan.
I am definitely a diehard Mets fan.
You are a Jets fan.
I'm fortunately cursed with that.
Now, I am not totally well versed in the, for lack of a better word, the politics of being a sports fan of New York City teams. But as a hayseed from Minnesota, I've always seen the Yankees are Broadway, and that's the stars, and nobody likes the Yankees because of the Yankees, right?
Correct, Amundo.
The Giants, I see, is the same way, even though they're actually not even in New York City. They're in
Neither
New Jersey.
are the Jets, right? They both play in New Jersey.
But I've always seen the Giants as like the Pat Summerall, the glitterati of New York City.
Yeah, those fan bases tend to
Giants,
go together.
Right?
Yep.
Right? The Rangers, same thing. They play Madison Square Garden. They're the hoity-toity franchise, right?
Even though they've only won one Stanley Cup in 50 years.
And in basketball, clearly the highfalutin, champagne-drinking, hoity-toities are the New York Knicks. Right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, you got Spike Lee at half court doing his thing.
Ben Stiller, your guy Chalamet.
Yeah, but even back, Jesus. Yeah. Worst movie ever, by the way. Marty Supreme. What a terrible
I know you were not a fan of Marty Supreme.
Golly. But the other day on social media, okay, so I'm seeing you as like blue collar upstate. I'm from the sticks guy. You grew up in a blue collar family.
I definitely did.
You are not a hoity-toity guy.
Definitely not.
Although you're in TV, so it's sort
I'm
of
losing
an
it.
irony there or something, But so you're a fan of the you're at Shea Stadium or now Citibank Field, and you're Casey Stengel losing 130 games. You're that guy.
Yep.
Right. You're the loser Jets. You're the Jets guys.
I don't know if I like the loser thing, but okay.
But they are. It's just a fact.
No, I meant addressed to me.
No, not you. No. The Jets are a loser.
Yes, they're definitely
blue collar.
Yes,
the plumber from Queens is a Jets fan.
We have Fireman
right?
Ed. He leads our cheer.
Right. Okay, so all of that being said, the other day on social media, you write, "Go Knicks."
I did.
And I being me, was in my Barco lounger going,
hey, thanks, Eric. You're right on cue. Yes.
What?
Yes.
I'm like, what? What is this?
By the way, I love this. Oswego got a hashtag is fantastic. I love that.
It doesn't. What are you talking about?
So
you can't be. If you're an NBA fan in New York City, and you're a Nets.
Well, first off, the Nets are in Jersey.
I'm sorry, you're a Jets. Well, so are the Jets. You're a Jets Mets guy.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the rhyming, but you have to go with the
doesn't.
blue collar underdog. That's the word, underdog franchise. The Knicks are the opposite of underdogs.
The Knicks have been garbage for 30 years.
But they're the Knicks.
But they've been terrible.
I've been to New York City a handful of times. Okay, there is nothing blue collar about Manhattan, New York, or Madison Square Garden, or the New York Knicks. That is the pinnacle of hoity-toityness in America.
I would stay with you if the Nets had stayed in New Jersey. Once they moved to Brooklyn, is the very chic part of New York. Everybody loves that. Then once they moved to Brooklyn, they shed the loser part of it. They did.
I took a train ride across Brooklyn. Okay,
love Brooklyn. That's where everybody is now.
But the downtown part of Brooklyn, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of chic. It's kind of like, hey, happening.
Yes, correct.
The Tim Purdens of the world now are like, woo. But when you get out of that area, Brooklyn is decidedly
different.
Not Manhattan.
No.
It is.
And they hate any reference to being
upon miles of very common blue collarness in Brooklyn.
That's just where I'm at right now. I'm with the Knicks. I'm going to roll with them. So we'll see what happens.
So disappointing.
We'll get more on that.
So disappointing.
In a little bit. Your column that you wrote on the Bison TV schedules coming out last week, which I think you said to get your energy drinks ready for 3 9 p.m. or later kickoffs.
Yep.
What make you of the Bison schedule now that we've seen it?
The times are one thing,
which we knew,
but the television side of it to me is what. Like 10 games of national television, and the underrated part of that, I've taken my shots at CBS Sports Network as it relates to the Summit League, and not so much that they're on CBS Sports Network, by the way, folks, but the fact that they're taking games away from local partners to put them on CBS Sports Network on Sunday at noon. But whatever.
Yes.
The underrated part of that schedule, the TV schedule for the Bison, in my amateur opinion, is they're on the CW like 4 times?
4 times, yes.
Or maybe, and could be 5.
Could be up to 5, yep.
And the CW, I know that the local outlet for the CW belongs to a competitor of ours and whatever. But that is a very underrated aspect. It is
network television.
It is a very commonly accessed, easily accessed network on all of the different satellites, cables, everything. YouTube TV,
Correct.
It's on now.
You got it. Yep.
And if you look at the numbers, again, amateur guy looking at numbers, the games in the CW actually, Mountain West games in the past have gotten far larger viewerships than those games on, FS1 or FS2 and we don't know CBS Sports Network because they don't release their numbers. What does that tell you? But so I think that's a very underrated part of it.
Totally.
And then and I wrote about this as well, but if WDAY is able to get a couple of games, a game or two, that's going to be on statewide TV.
Totally.
And the CW is also going to be on easily accessible statewide TV. There's no question that NDSU is going to get a ton of exposure, even locally, for these games.
Right. The surprise to me was seeing the Sac State game on ESPN. Not you, not 2, not News, ESPN,
Right.
the big one. I know the game starts at 9:30, but that's on everybody gets ESPN.
Yeah,
Everybody does.
I looked up those numbers because I'm a geek, and less than 1 million viewers generally for those 9:30 ESPN games, but 750,000, 850,000 viewers for 9:30 p.m. Central kickoffs on ESPN.
Yep.
I don't know if it could have broken any better.
And there's more coming, by the way. The late night windows from visiting with Mountain West John Sullivan last week. That particular week, there are 7 games starting at 9 o'clock or later.
Across, not just in the Mountain West, across the country.
The whole
in all
football. But I mean, that part of the world, obviously, they're going to be that late kickoffs on 7 different outlets.
Well,
so there's more coming.
I don't know if everybody noticed this, but California has like 70 million people in it. So, pretty large market.
I thought, and for the home game kickoff times, Mike, because we were speculating this last week when you were on, that I was wondering, well, there might be a couple of late. They got one night kickoff. The Nevada game is going to be a 6 p.m.
Yep.
Kickoff.
But that's not bad, though.
No, that's fine.
That's you go tailgating at 1 o'clock.
Personally, they should do that twice a year. I always thought that you should have at least 2 night home games. The rest of them are right in the same wheelhouse that NDSU fans have been used to. It's 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Over the Jacksonville State game is a 4:30, which again I think that's a perfect way. You do what you want to do during the day, and then hey, come the football games at 4:30 that night. That's and you're not out of there. You're out of there by 8 o'clock.
And the late night stuff, that's going to be different for sure.
It will.
I mean, we're going to a 9:30 kickoff is like wow. And then of course the Hawaii one is that's an anomaly. That's every other year. You're gonna have a super late kickoff, which as I wrote, that's a great reason to subscribe to inform.com because we'll have all the information for you when you wake up to get ready to go to church on Sunday morning or whatever you do on Sundays. I thought the TV schedule worked out, as I said, as good as it could for NDSU. I mean, UNLV, I think they had 10 nationally televised games.
There's a reason there.
New Mexico got a lot. Clearly, UTEP in Northern Illinois got the fewest, and that's, I think, tells you the pecking order of the league and the perception right now. But no, for NDSU, there was a concern from me that, for a lot of years, of course, they were on WDAY statewide. The Bison were. Prior to that, they were on Channel 11 statewide for many years, and they became the state's franchise, if you will, because of the TV coverage and the success, obviously, as well.
Totally.
They became the top college sports team in the state of North Dakota in terms of popularity and eyeballs and all of those things. I don't know if concerned is the right word. I was curious to see how this move would affect that. And with this TV schedule, no problem. They're going to be all over the place, easily accessible, even without the Mountain West app, which has people nervous as to how much is that going to cost. And I don't know, $5 a month
probably. Here's another thing. I set you up to tee off on TV, people, because the CFP broadcast schedule came out yesterday. Yep. By the way, college football's playoff is going to last 50 days.
Yes.
The national championship game is on January 25th.
We're almost into February now for college football.
It starts August 29th. Is week 0. It's outrageous. I look at this. ABC, WDAY will have the national championship game, have a semifinal as well that's going to be on. What do we make of of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's television controlling everything.
The universe, man.
We're getting to a point where pretty much everybody now is saying that something has to change here. I mean, I think we've sort of ridden through the last couple of years and went, wow, things are really changing. And now we're to the point like everybody is saying this is not sustainable. I mean, we're having people from the SEC say this is not sustainable at all in any way, shape, or form. So,
well, it's funny. They could have, put the... They could have reined this in about 5 years ago, but decided not to. So
it's because they were grabbing TV money.
Correct. Correct. So and now here we are.
I like to blame TV.
Yeah.
But I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten are as much to blame as anybody for this whole situation
and
we're in.
I know,
and that's not breaking news. No,
but going and asking Congress to come in and save it is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard of. They can't do anything right now, let alone come in and do this.
I had a local college president 3 years ago, tell me if we start looking to have Congress save us, wow. I mean, you just stop and think about that.
Totally.
The most dysfunctional body maybe in the world right now is the United States Congress, both the Senate and the House, are just a train wreck.
Yes.
Can't get anything done, and college sports leaders are going to those people to say, fix it.
Fix it. Right.
Because we were
messed
delinquent and we screwed it up so far beyond any sort of recognition that we need you, regardless of party. I know which party that I would not favor in this. Ted Cruz and his band of merry idiots. But they're going to those people to say, save us.
Totally. Let's break. We come back. We already got a little bit into it. We'll do more with the NBA Finals set to begin tomorrow night in San Antonio. Get Mike's thoughts on that and a couple other topics as well. His appearances, of course, brought to us by Sunset Lanes out of Moorhead. Go over there now. Get a membership, $40 for the entire summer. Back on Hot Mike right after this.
This is Hot Mike with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Welcome back, everybody. Mike McFeely back with us. His appearances every Tuesday, sponsored by Sunset Lanes out of Moorhead. All right, you NBA rube that you are.
I am.
School me up on what we got coming up here tomorrow night with the Spurs
I think it's going
and
to
the
be
Knicks.
a tremendous series.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic. I mean, put all the stuff aside. Put all the glittery glamour of the Knicks and of their phony fan base aside. I think it's going to be just a heck of a fun series. I think San Antonio's a pretty solid favorite.
Pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, they are, but I'm not so sure that the Knicks aren't also riding the wave. They've played
11 wins in a row.
They emerged from the East, clearly the best team out of the East. So I think it's going to be a great series.
The skeptics would say that were the Knicks even tested in the East, right? I mean, they lost 2 games to the Hawks,
right,
and then swept Philly and swept Cleveland,
right? But part of that is that they've been playing well. I mean, you can't dismiss that.
No.
You can't sit there and say, they played a bunch of easy teams. Well, the East clearly is not as tough as the West,
right,
which is part of the problem that the Timberwolves are going to have for the next forever.
2 years. Then we're going to move to the East once the NBA adds Vegas and Seattle. Then we're moving to the East.
That's true. So I don't think you can dismiss. I mean, Jalen Brunson's good.
Really good.
As much as my wife despises him and is flopping and all that, just that stuff. I mean, he's got the old, getting shot every time he gets touched, much like SGA. I don't think you can dismiss that he's just a tough, hard-nosed, clutch player, and the pieces around him. I don't know what's going to happen to the captain of the Knicks,
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yep. We don't know how that happened either. How about our guy Cat? How many people around here on the cheering on Cat because a chance to win an NBA championship?
I don't know I don't know that
the fans' relationship with Cat was always when he's awesome, great, but more of the time people pulling their hair out.
But he was with the Timberwolves. He was like the franchise.
Had to be for a while,
and he did nothing wrong. Like, he was a good guy. He stayed here. Yep. He said how much he loved Minnesota, which I think was true. But the issue then was that he would not run down the court to play defense because somebody touched him on the elbow.
Or the constant whining.
Whining.
Yes.
He sort of reined that in,
I think,
a little bit, and he was fantastic in the conference finals. I don't know, like, is he going to guard Wemby? Who's going to guard Wemby?
That's my first question to you. Is who's guarding Wembanyama? Anybody?
And can Cat score against? Cat can step outside and hit threes. Yep. He can step outside and hit threes. That makes him very valuable because that's what the game is. Maybe that's how the Knicks have to beat San Antonio, just bury a bunch of threes. But I don't know, man. The Spurs are good. Good Lord, they have just besides the most exciting, unbelievable talent on the planet right now in Wembanyama, the guys around him that we didn't really know much about before these playoffs started.
Stephon Castle.
They're just
Dylan Harper. Right.
Tanking works. Greg Popovich and the Spurs 1,000%, 1,000% tanked to get a shot at Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And
they got 3 lottery picks and they nailed them all.
And it worked.
That's the thing. They got Wemby. They got, I think, Harper was the second pick, and Castle was the fourth or fifth pick. So there you go.
There you go. It worked.
You were bad for 10 years, and now you've got potential for a dynasty here that starts. You see the schedule tomorrow night.
He's fun to watch, though.
Wemby?
Lord. Oh, yeah. God, he's fun to watch.
Watching
Is that
him
an
play,
ABC? Do you guys got
we
this?
We have it. WDAY has all the games, so
Nice.
we'll be pumped about that. Starts tomorrow night here on Channel 6, and then Friday for Game 2, and then in New York City, which will be electric.
Oh,
let's just say. Game
it's
3 next Monday night back in New York.
This is what Madison Square Garden means to the world. If you're not into sports and whatnot, but my daughter and I went to New York City just for a dad-daughter trip a couple of years ago, and she was looking at Broadway shows, and we scheduled a couple of those, and we bought tickets to the museums, yada yada yada. Our hotel that we stayed in the Chelsea section of New York City was within a walking distance of. Is it Penn Station?
Yep.
That's underneath Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
So we were 3 blocks away from Madison Square Garden. My daughter, who does not like hockey in any way, and I'm not a hockey guy, but my daughter's on her phone and she's going, oh. I go, what? She says, the Rangers are out of town. And I go, okay, why do we care? She goes, I want to go see Madison Square Garden, Dad. I want to see a game in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And she'd been there for a concert already, which tells you where her life is and my life is. But she was looking up because she wanted to see a sporting event in Madison Square Garden, which I like. My old dad heart just went, oh, you are so awesome. That's just awesome.
How about my dad went to a hockey game at MSG? He was down there when he was doing his treatment, and they went to a Rangers game at Madison. My father, who likes hockey about as much as you do, he was there. He went to a hockey game at Madison Square Garden.
It's MSG
because he was at MSG, right?
It's incredible.
How much would you pay to go if you say, hey, you have a chance to go to the NBA Finals, but it's at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
What's the threshold?
I don't know. $500, I suppose. I don't know.
I don't think you're getting in the door.
Well, no, I know. I wouldn't get on the block. I know, but you asked me the question, and I could not go to an NBA Finals game in Madison Square Garden because the tickets probably start. The get in the door price, I'm sure it's on the web somewhere. Yeah. The get in the door price is probably $2,500.
I would say that's
$4,400. Eric just said in our ear, $4,400 to get in the door.
That's probably a bridge too far.
$230,000. Eric, he just asked me how much courtside. Wow.
With your guy Chalamet, you can sit right there.
So I'd be going, so Tim, so you're telling me that this guy, Marty Supreme, is like the biggest, most unlikable jerk
just a dink
in movie history. But in the last 2 minutes of the film, we're supposed to believe that like all of a sudden you've changed your ways.
Redeemable.
And you're great. What? No, shut up. This is stupid. Go away. Go Celtics.
That'd be worth $105 grand.
Yeah,
totally.
If I had the money, I'd totally do that. Yep, I'd totally just go sit next to Tim and just ream him out. Just ream him out for the Marty Supreme garbage.
Did you see the Bob Dylan movie?
No.
He's okay in that. He's not bad. I didn't. Marty Supreme was not very good. I agree with you on that. Thanks for swinging by. Good to see you as always.
Yes.
Mike McFeely joins us each and every Tuesday. His appearances are brought to us by Sunset Lanes out of Moorhead. We'll break. We come back. We'll start hour 2. Kindred big man Luke Starcevic will join us on his commitment to play in the ACC with Clemson. That's coming up. We come back.
Yeah, they'll be in the SEC soon enough.
Hot Mike on the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll on this Tuesday morning. Still to come, Velva state champion runner Anya Olson will join us on 5 state titles in track. We're going to do that about a half hour from now. Excited about that. Pretty pumped to start our second hour with the news yesterday. We were talking about recruiting yesterday and how many top-level guys in the state of North Dakota we have in the class of 2027. We got another commitment yesterday out of Kindred, North Dakota, which now has 2 players that are going to be playing Power 4 football in the fall of 2027. Luke Starcevic joins us here, who announced yesterday his commitment to Clemson, a little school you may have heard of. It plays in the Atlantic Coast Conference in Death Valley in South Carolina. It's great to see you, Buck. Congratulations. We started this, I want to say, about 18 months ago. It's like January of 25 when the first offer came in. Lots happened since then. Take us through why Clemson was the school for you.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a long process. It's been a good process. It started by the end of my freshman year, so it's been a really cool opportunity getting to do this with my dad and my parents, and going to check out all these programs. But at the end of the day, Clemson's where I wanted to be, and I picked it just because of the people and the culture that they've built there over the years, and the way Coach Sweeney runs his program. I respect and trust all the people in that program so much, and that was a big reason for why I picked it. And they do everything at a high level. And I can guarantee that I'm not only going to grow as a football player there, but also grow my faith and grow as a human being. And that's very intriguing to me. The vision they have for me to grow as a football player and develop was very exciting, along with the fact that every year I'll be competing for a ACC or national championship. So super excited.
All right, so you were on your official this past weekend. Did you go in with the intent of committing, or did you hear something and say, this is it, I'm done?
I knew there was a decent chance, going into it. We were taking it for a reason, I guess, because we were really excited about them. And I knew there was a chance, but if the visit went well, and it obviously did, like I expected it to. So I got to commit Saturday night.
What was that conversation with Coach Sweeney like?
It was really cool. Yeah, we Saturday night we were at his house, having dinner, or whatever, and Coach Luke, the O-line coach, came up to me. He's like, "You got another meeting with Coach Sweeney in about 20 minutes." I was like, "All right." OC is going to be in there, assistant O-line coach, GM, my whole family. I was like, no better time to do it. So got in there, talked for a little bit, and tossed him the little poker chip he gave me that had the Clemson logo on one side. It said all in on the other. Tossed it to him, told him I'm all in, and I'm super excited. Lots of emotions in the room then.
What was his reaction?
He was pumped. Super excited. First North Dakota guy at Clemson. In his time, maybe ever, I'm not sure, but definitely in Coach Sweeney's era. So he was excited for that, and all the coaches were super pumped.
Luke, what position did they talk to you about? Anything specific about where they see you playing when you get there?
Yeah, that was one of the cool parts about it, and something that was a good selling point for me was that I'm a offensive tackle is eventually what I'll go into. I'm getting recruited by Coach Luke, who's the offensive line coach, and but as I'm developing my body to get there, the plan is to possibly play some big tight end or help out in some 12, 13 personnel on the way there. Obviously, that's up to me, but the door is open, and there's a crack in the door, and I got the opportunity to fulfill that if I do what I'm supposed to and follow the plan they have set out for me. But that's a really cool opportunity.
Did you tell him he got some pretty good hands? Did you show him your tight end video that you can catch the ball?
Yeah, I know. That's what they're saying. I got to play some tight end last year, freshman year also, and I got some pretty good hands for a big guy. I mean, can't diss on it too much.
Tell me about this whole process. We talked, gosh, this is like our third separate time. Iowa State offered almost about 2 years ago. You mentioned after your freshman year. This has been a long, long deal. Have you ever felt like, is this ever going to end?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely times where I was like ready for it to be done, and now I was ready for it to be done, and but I'm super thankful and grateful for everybody who gave me a chance throughout the process. It's been an absolute blessing and a dream of mine since a young age to play college football, let alone at this highest level. So it's been a great experience. But I was ready to wrap it up and know where I'm going and enjoy my senior year.
I'm just going to do this to embarrass you on the air, but I'm just going to list for people that don't know. Here are the schools you may have heard of: Notre Dame, Washington, Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, Stanford, Penn State, Oregon, Missouri, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Michigan State, Michigan, Iowa, Kansas State, Auburn. Was there a point where they're all coming to Kindred as well? They're just like, this is unbelievable. This is happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been a dream of mine, and there's a lot of dream schools that I talked to and got to be involved with, and yeah, it was truly a blessing and a great process.
Was there ever a moment, Luke, where you had to pinch yourself, or just like, this is actual happening, like this is reality? Was there ever a time like, this is beyond wherever I could have thought?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm walking around the photo shoot room at Clemson on our last day. I'm just like, man, like playing football in the backyard with my older brother and my dad, and now I'm here. It's crazy, but a lot of work has been put in. A lot more work needs to be put in to chase even bigger dreams. But like I said, super blessed to be where I am today.
You mentioned your older brother, Jake. Tell me how much he influenced this. He's went through his own journey as well. He's actually going to be back here playing this coming fall. How much has he helped you in this whole journey?
Yeah, he's helped a lot. I mean, from a young age of competing and playing football on the trampoline and basketball and all this. I wouldn't be where I am today without him, obviously, and he's one heck of a player also. I'm glad I got to share the field with him for 2 years, and he's going to do amazing things at UND, and I'm excited to watch him, and I'm super grateful for him.
Tell me about the fact you and Brooks have done this almost together in lockstep. How much has it helped to have a teammate, a close friend of yours, doing the same journey that you did?
Yeah, it's really cool. Getting to do it with Brooks and him kind of having a similar journey, getting to get called down to Coach Burgad's office in math class, and we get to go talk to a coach and walking down there and being like, let's go, I'm getting out of whatever. And it's cool getting to share a similar experience with them.
What was there ever a moment like, who called? Like, who's going to be here? Did you ever have that, like a double take?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I mean, just like I said, some of these big programs that you always dream of playing at, and getting to talk with them and having opportunities to play there, it's like I said, a blessing.
Was there ever a moment, take me back to the earliest one, where you thought, okay, I can not only play college football, but I think I can play really high? Was there a meeting you had, or a moment just like it clicked to say, I think I'm good enough, I can play at the top level?
I think probably the first offer. I mean, it was Iowa State, like I said, back in my freshman year, and when that happened, I was like, yeah, this is a reality. Like, I'm gonna be able to play college football at a high level. Like I said, it's been a dream of mine, and ever since there, it's just kept going on up, and it's just been really cool. I
got to ask, what has been the last 12 hours? You posted it yesterday afternoon, like around 4 o'clock. So give me what the last 16 hours have been like for you.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. Phone's been blowing up a little bit, but it's been cool.
Did you get a chance to celebrate with the fam? Is that to come, or did you do that on the trip back home?
I would say probably on the trip a little bit. We got some gear that over the weekend, and celebrating that night and the rest of the weekend. But yeah, it's been fun. Now
that you've committed, does this change what your summer plans were in terms of other visits? Does that change completely, or did you think right about now you'd have a decision made?
Yeah, like I said before we were on air, like I didn't honestly expect it to go this long, but it did, and this is gonna be my last visit either way. So I'm glad it's over, and I can focus on my summer and my senior year and having a good time.
Is it going to be great to not have the phone be constant? Like, you're not going to have to do that? Have you even thought about that yet? Like, I don't have to take a call anymore?
Yeah, that is a good point. Just less commotion and just kind of worrying about life right now.
It goes without saying, I asked Brooks this as well, that this upcoming fall, I have to imagine you're ready for fall camp now. Tell me about the anticipation for your senior season and trying to get back to the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, we're super pumped. Obviously, last year didn't end the way we wanted it to, with me getting injured and then us ending up losing the next game. Having to watch that was tough, and having to watch basketball, track, all that. But we're all super hungry. The whole group is, and we're out there in the mornings all summer. At night, we're gonna be working, putting our head down, working, and getting ready to get back on the field and get back to the top.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Tell me about your injury and how difficult was that? Was that your first real serious football injury you've ever had?
Yeah, it was, and it was difficult. I mean, obviously, that's not something easy. Like, it sucked. Couldn't finish out the season. Yeah. Couldn't play basketball. Couldn't do track. But we're trending in a good direction. Hopefully we'll be back earlier than anticipated, so that will be good. And just like I said before, putting my head down, working, and trying to get back to better than I was before.
Luke, I know a trend now is that coaches want guys as early as possible. Has Clemson talked to you about enrolling early? Has that been brought up yet?
Yeah, it's been talked about. I'm just not too sure yet. It's still up in the air, but it's definitely been talked about.
Is that something you'd be open to, or do you want to, hey, I want to enjoy my senior year and I'll get there this time next year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it, but I definitely want to play basketball. I didn't get to play last year.
Yeah.
And the basketball season didn't go how we wanted either, so I'd like to get back out there and compete, and track as well. So graduate with my boys and enjoy my senior year. So that's definitely something that I would like to do.
A couple minutes left here with Luke Starcevic, who announced yesterday he's committed to Clemson to play football for Dabo Swinney in the ACC. Was football always the first love, or was there another sport that you enjoyed and then football came along?
Football 100% the whole way.
Yeah.
Growing up with my brother, my dad played at UND. I've been a football guy through and through. Yeah, there's not much else to it. I love football more than the next guy, so I can't express enough how grateful I am to have these opportunities and get to play at the next level.
You have had a lot of thrust on you at a young age. Tell me about just basically growing up dealing with this and how, I don't know if difficult maybe is the right word, but how stressful this has been, because you mentioned you've been dealing with this since you were basically 15 years old.
Yeah, and at the time that we knew that that's kind of what it would be. Like, you got to really lock in and focus on what you're doing. And it's been stressful at times. It's been super exciting at times. And I'm glad I got to do it. And I'm glad I am where I am today.
More glad that it's over?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Just know where I'm going, know I'm going to the right place for me, and can enjoy it now.
Last thing for you, and I appreciate you doing this morning. What is it like to have to call a school and say no and tell them no? Can you give us a little insight into that?
Yeah, it is difficult because you grow such great connections with some of these coaches, and they're the ones who are in it at the end and you grow closest with are the best people, because that's always been my biggest thing, is getting around the best people. So those are definitely tough calls for people who treat you and your family so great, but super grateful for all those teams and all those programs and people who have given me these opportunities. But like I said, I'm still super excited to be where I am.
Well, bud, I appreciate you doing this. We've had 3 separate conversations now, and it's fun to see the end of the road here where a decision has been made. I appreciate you doing this. Congratulations. Turn the phone off. You don't have to worry about it now, right? You can just turn it off and enjoy it, right? Thanks for doing this. We'll see you on the football field this fall, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes, Luke Starcevic from Kindred, North Dakota, the newest 2027 member for the Clemson Tigers football recruiting class. Again, there's not something we say often on this program out of Kindred, that they have one guy going to the University of Minnesota in the Big Ten and another going to Clemson in the ACC. Let me again read this off just because I think it needs some context, because Riley Sunram, another Kindred kid, had near this many, but not as many as Starcevic. It all started at Iowa State when Tyler Roll was first at Iowa State. That's how long ago this began. When he was first there before he left to go to the Lions, he offered Starcevic then. It was 2 summers ago. Since then, again, let me read them all off here. This is not in the order they came. I guess we could do that, but for brevity's sake, let's just keep it with the ones that we know have been reported here. UND, a little school called Notre Dame, North Dakota State, Washington, Vanderbilt, Central Florida, Texas Tech, Stanford, Purdue, a school you may have heard of named Penn State, Oregon, Oklahoma, Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan State, Michigan, Kansas, Iowa State, Iowa, Illinois, Auburn, Kansas State, and Clemson. That's the list. That's as prolific, as impressive a list as we have heard of. I'm trying to look back here. Clemson officially offered him earlier this month, May 1. So this has been a short-term relationship here that was consummated now literally a month later. He went to Clemson the first weekend in May and got offered, and now the last weekend of May he has officially committed. So that's pretty good stuff. So if you're keeping track now, we have the 4 guys from Moorhead are going to Minnesota. We got 1 guy in Kindred going to Minnesota. We got another guy in Kindred going to Clemson. We got a guy in Stanley who's going to Kansas State. We got 1 more we're waiting on. That's at Fargo South, and we'll see. The Bison are trying their you-know-what-is, but when you've got Michigan and Minnesota in the mix, it might be hard to win that out. So thanks to Luke for giving us a few minutes. Let's break. We'll get caught up. We got a few emails to get to. Good. We got Anya Olson from Velva coming up here in about 15 minutes as well. Back on Hot Mic on WDAY Extra right after this.
This is Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Our thanks to Luke Starcevic getting us a few minutes there. That was good stuff. Anya Olson from Velva will join us about 10 minutes' time. Chat about a 5 state championships she won in track and taking those talents to Fargo. She'll be competing with the Bison next year. Got a few emails in that let's get caught up. This one was an interesting one I got earlier from the show, and I didn't have time when Mike was in, but I'll read it now. Dom and Mike, I've had a question for a while and would love your take. What's the thinking behind your apparent policy of not promoting competitor publications? To me, it seems like an outdated, fixed pie way of looking at things. When you highlight other quality content or people around NDSU football, it makes you look like a genuine hub for the sport, the source that knows where all the good stuff is. When that content gets withheld instead, it actually pushes me to go look elsewhere. The appetite for quality NDSU football coverage seems close to inexhaustible, so promoting other people's work, Bison 1660s interviews with coaches, for example, would seem to help you as a media company rather than hurt you. I appreciate your coverage nonetheless. Appreciate the email. I will tell you, I'm pretty old school on that. I'm not here to promote anybody else's stuff but ours. That's just the way it's going to be. I will tell you, so you could say on what to watch. Well, then why you tell me like the Spurs Thunder games on NBC? That's on Channel 11. That's a different deal. It's a game. That's not necessarily access to something. And I would also tell you that we get all those interviews that everybody else gets. And frankly, I think we get better ones. We can ask better questions. We're not withholden to, we don't work for the school. We don't have to answer to anybody but my bosses upstairs. That's who all I have to answer to. I don't have to answer at NDSU. I don't have to withhold maybe let's just say a rather inconvenient question or uncomfortable question on that. As for other public, tell me who's covering NDSU better than us right now. I'll wait and listen on that. I think we have the best stuff. Okay, ESPN's covering it, great. ESPN isn't here. They're not talking to the coach. I have a direct line right now. I can tell you that I'm working on 2 other recruiting stories right when I get off the air here that are going to be on our show. Bison just got a long snapper to come in because their current long snapper quit. Tell me where else you're going to get that kind of info. So I appreciate that. And the guys at 1660 are great. Sam and Andy do a great job. Sam, congratulations to him. A, he won the Sportscaster of the Year. B, he's getting married here in a few weeks. Tip of the hat. They're friends of mine, but we are competitors. They may not look at me the same way. I'm old school like that. When I started it here at WDAY 2006, right, the news was a much different animal now than it is now. Where when I was anchoring on the weekends, we were fighting for the best stuff. Brian Shawn will tell you that. Brian was the anchor at KVOY. My good friend Scott Swanson was the anchor at KVRR. We were battling it out to make sure we had the best highlights. We had stuff that nobody else was going to have, was going to be on our particular newscast. It's not that way anymore, which is too bad. I strive to make sure the WDAY, even though I don't do the sports every night, that we set ourselves apart than everybody else and what we do in terms of coverage, in terms of storytelling. That's part of me. I was never good enough to compete in any athletic sport beyond JV golf that I did in high school. This is my competition, right? Making sure I have a story that nobody else does. Well, you can say, well, Dom, you didn't have the FBS story. Nope. I had it. I was in the room, but they got that. I didn't have the Matt Entz story. Logan Campbell got that one. That I was burned on that. I was happy that Logan got it. I was happy that we had it, but I wanted that one. That's the competitor. So to the emailer's point here, I'm not going to promote other people's work. Unless, Pete Thamel's got a story. Pete did one on Gray Zabel and Mark Gronowski. He talked to us about it when we were in Vegas, actually. That's different. That was a neat story. I could promote that, but I'm not going to say, hey, so-and-so was on here. Go listen. No, I'm not going to do that. I have my own show. We're gonna try and get those same guests. You tell me anybody else who's going to get the guests we've had on. I'm waiting. I think Luke Starcevic's first interview was with us. Okay, so I'll give a quick pat on the back on that one. So I appreciate the email, but that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm pretty sure I can speak for Mike that he's not going to do that either, knowing he's in the same mindset as I am. But good email. Appreciate that. All right, let's break. We come back. Velva's Anya Olson will join us on 5 state championships on the track and taking that to Fargo next year, including the crazy story she dealt with an injury this year. She'll join us when Hot Mike returns. Final half hour coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mike rolls on this Tuesday, final half hour. So we just wrapped up the state track meet. Was about 10 days ago. We had the Summit League before that. We've been we got ready for NCAA track championships. Are coming up the week from tomorrow. They start out in Tracktown in Eugene. So we got track on the mind. And our next guest, I've been trying to line up here for a little bit. So I'm super pumped we were able to get her on today after another 2 championships that she claimed at the state meet in Bismarck. About 10 days ago. Anya Olson from Velva joins us. Just 5 state championships in the back pocket. 100, 200, and 400 last year. 200 and 400 this year. And we're going to see her running in Fargo coming next year. She's signed to be part of NDSU's track team, and she joins us this morning. First off, thanks for doing this. Second, is there any race you can't win? Let me just start with that. Congratulations. Tell me about winning the last 2 championships, how important that was for you to finish your career with that.
I mean, it was less of the winning for me because I'm not sure if you know, but I broke my clavicle 3 weeks ago. So going to state wasn't even an option until that Thursday before. So the first day of state track. I went to my doctors and they said, as long as you understand the risks of running, you can go for it. And so then I was like, Mom, I have to run. I have to do it. So then I went and I just wanted to compete. I really didn't care about the placing or anything like that. I just wanted to compete, and I was just lucky enough to even get to be there. So.
Oh, I was going to set it up sort of a dramatic pause there about your injury, but let's go.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Let's go. Tell me what happened. How did you break your clavicle?
So at the Howard Wood meet in Sioux Falls, it was first race of the day, prelims 100-meter dash. I leaned too much at the line, caught a spike, and just tuck and rolled right on my shoulder. And I stood up. I thought everything was fine, and then I felt my shoulder, and I was like, "Oh, that's not supposed to be poking out." So, but
jeez. So obviously you knew something right away was bad. Did you know the extent of it right away, or was it not till a few hours later?
I was in the ER, and I asked the doctor, and they showed the X-ray on the screen, and it was completely snapped and shortened. So my clavicle was pushed into my chest cavity.
Oh my!
And so I asked the doctor, I was like, "So you're not going to be able to just pop it back into place?" Because it really didn't hurt that bad at first.
So, did it get bad? Did it get worse as the day went along? The pain?
It wasn't great, but they got me on some good painkillers. So.
All right. So what is the doctor telling you there immediately? Like you say, hey, running's done. Like you're done.
So the ER doctor told me, definitely not looking like you're going to run. And I went to Dr. Carpenter in Sanford, Bismarck. And so then we talked to him, and he said, it's actually pretty lucky that you snapped it as bad as you did, because if it was just a fracture, you'd be in a brace for 2 to 3 months. But we're just going to give you surgery and screw you all back together. And so and I was like, oh, but it's not going to be 20 days healing fast. And he was like, I wouldn't count it out. So
Wow.
from then on, I started training and, did what I could.
So that's my next question. What could you do training-wise dealing after you got hurt?
It was really slow at first. It was hard being in a bed for 2 weeks, not being able to get up or do anything, especially in the peak of my season. Like It was mentally such a struggle to work through. And so, I started off slow. I went for walks, and then I started to jog, and that would hurt a little bit, but then I'd take some more medicine, and then I'd go for faster jogs, and I don't know, it's just like building your way back up. And honestly, it was so much easier to work through having a goal. Like I was like, I am going to run at state, and I have to run at state, and I am going to reach that goal. So
was there a moment where you've realized I can tolerate this and run? How soon was it? The week of state? When did that happen?
I'd say probably a week or two before state.
Okay.
I was like, the healing process was so fast the first few days. The first 5 days, it was like night and day difference from pain wise. And so I was like, you know what? If it keeps going at this rate, I know I'm going to run at state. And it's such like a mental thing for me too. I was like, even if it hurts, like I'm still going to push through and do what I can, just competing or being there,
So describe then being back out there and the finals on Saturday and racing and winning in two of them and coming awfully darn close in a third. What was that like for you?
It was just surreal. Not running since Sioux Falls. I mean, my blocks and everything, it wasn't muscle memory anymore. And, running seems like such an easy thing, but when your shoulder doesn't want to move with you, it's so weird. And so then it's like, it's relearning something that you've known how to do your whole life. And it was just surreal being back on the track, standing right there. And right before the 100-meter dash, it was like deja vu. It was like remembering Sioux Falls and like being ready to get in the blocks on the red track. And I don't know, it was surreal. But I just remembered, I told myself, don't lean at the line this time. So.
But then you had to in the 200 though, right?
Yeah.
Without that, you don't win.
That was muscle memory. That wasn't me thinking about leaning. My brain knew I had to.
That's remarkable because I have to imagine in the back of your mind or maybe in the front of your mind, you're thinking, I just did this and hurt myself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely were a lot of restraints. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw my prelims 100-meter dash, but you could tell something was definitely wrong with my shoulder. And so, I just, in the back of my mind, I kind of black out during my races. Like, I don't think of anything, and people are like, did you hear me cheering for you? And I'm like, I have nothing going on up here. But, no, so I was running, and I wasn't like, oh, you have to lean. I just got to the end, and I was like, you have to win. It's just the competitive mindset I have, and I just couldn't walk away with another second place, I think.
Did you feel like initially you were running more straight up to protect your shoulder initially? Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, I feel like my mobility was definitely compromised, and it just all felt wrong. I don't know, not running for 2 weeks, everything feels off. And I feel like coming out of the blocks was really hard because I couldn't get that arm drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I even thought about switching my blocks the day of, and I went down there and I was like, that's not going to work. So I was like, you know what, I'll just come out like this, barely getting my arm up. And so then when I got up, I obviously run straight up. I'm holding my back up. It's just, the form was all off, but I'm just lucky I got enough to carry me through.
You got the medal. That's all that matters, right? In the long run. Were you even able, I guess let me ask, were you able to appreciate it more? That I know you didn't win all three, you won two, but what you did to win the two, do you appreciate that more than the three you won last year?
1,000%. And people were like, oh, but aren't you sad you were going to break records or break your own records and stuff like that? And I was like, I've broken enough stuff this year. I don't need to break records next. Like, broken clavicle is fine for me. I'm just so glad I get to compete and be a part of the state track meet, because it's such a fun community and experience anyways, that just being able to go back and not be on the sidelines, because I was like mourning my senior season kind of. I was thinking about going to state track and just watching everybody compete and like trying to cheer and be happy but not be a part of it. And I'm just so lucky I got to go and actually compete.
That's a great perspective, and I appreciate you sharing that, because that easy for the rest of us to we'll be good with what you got. How are you feeling now?
So much better.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm still, the only limitation they sent me home with was don't lift anything over 5 pounds, including body weight and stuff. So that's another thing that I was like, oh, the blocks might be difficult. But no, it's been really good. I've just been getting ready for NDSU next year, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I don't know, the surgery, I'm so grateful I got to do it and, got to heal up as quick as I did. An interviewer after my 400 dash win, I'm not sure if he knew about my injury or not, but he said, so how does it feel falling short in the 100 meter and coming back and winning in the 400 meter? And I said, I don't feel like it was really falling short. I just feel like being here is the win. So
that's well said. So we just got done. The Summer League track championships were here, and for people that don't follow track a ton, the spotlight again, NDSU wins again. And Anya, this for people that don't, the amount of Class B North Dakotans that help the Bison win, lead the Bison to win, is. You can't look past it. CV Keller's a Class B guy in himself. So tell me about getting the chance to compete at NDSU and knowing there is a long line of Class B competitors that have had success that you'd love to join that group.
I'm so excited. I mean, Elise Wisniewski, she is such a big, role model for me because we ran together and we raced against each other my entire high school career. And then she graduated, makes all these big waves at NDSU, and I'm just so excited to be part of a team with her now. And, potentially being in a relay together. It's just exciting, kind of, putting all those girls together. And I think coming from the same smaller communities, it's just, I don't know, it made Fargo feel more like home on my visit. And people are like, why don't you go bigger or farther? And I'm like, NDSU just felt right to me.
Yeah.
And Stevie Keller, he's a great guy, so easy to talk to. Anybody who's talked to him can just, I don't know. My friend, he came up and talked to me at state track and asked about how I'm feeling and stuff. And my friend was like, oh, is that your dad's friend? I was like, that's the head coach at NDSU. So it's so funny. He's so down to earth and just a guy to talk to. He's super nice, though.
Even though he's from Harvey, and I know Harvey and Velva don't necessarily get along, is that okay that you guys, he's going to be your coach now going forward?
Oh, I don't think there's that much beef. But with football and stuff, there might be a little more beef. Yeah. But I actually trained down in Harvey for 2 years. I went down and I did their sprint training. So I drive 50 minutes there, 50 minutes back, 3 times a week. And Scott Rout he was my trainer, and he ended up leaving and going to South Dakota. But, and so then I ended up going to Minot to train because the drive just got to be a lot too. But I don't know, it was still a great experience, and I'm really good friends with a lot of the Harvey girls.
So what's now between now and going to and coming to Fargo? Is just a chance to relax, heal up, or are you right back on the track soon?
So I gave myself May to try to relax a little bit, get through graduation, because that's also a lot going on.
Pretty big deal there, no doubt.
Kind of, whatever. So I'm working a lot, getting ready for college, and just back to working out. It never stops, and that's something I've come to learn, and I'm just so excited for this next step for me that it doesn't really feel like working or hard work and working out. It's just like my job. I have to get it done, and I'm excited.
This might seem simplistic. I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, so I apologize. But do you have a favorite race? Do you have one say, you know what, this is the one I'm best at. This is the one I'm fastest at.
I never know how to answer this question because people are like, well, don't you love the 400 since you won it your sophomore year or something? And I'm like, does anybody like the 400?
No.
I'm like, it's awful. And my coach just threw me in it sophomore year because he saw my split time in a relay and was like, not bad. And I just got myself stuck for the rest of eternity, I guess. And so I'd say my favorite race is probably the 200 because it's still a really fast sprint. It's not too long, and there's time to make up. So I have awful block starts, and I do not know how to come out of the blocks. And I feel like in the 200, there's a lot more time to make up if you do have bad block starts. I mean, you saw this year, but so the 100 is, I love the 100 too, but everything has to be perfect if you want to get a good time. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I just like being able to make, like, I like there being some wiggle room. Not that everything has to be, and nothing's ever going to be perfect every time,
Right.
but I do like the 200 for that reason.
Well, the 400, this is the last thing we got to go. You can't stop. Like, there's just it's a all-out sprint, and it's gross. That's probably the best way to describe it, right?
It's disgusting. And it's like a pain you can't get rid of. And my coach is like, oh, cool down, jog it off. I'm like, I can't breathe right now. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, it's definitely all out for a whole minute straight. And I don't know. It's kind of good that in the sprints I kind of black out, but then in the 400, you start to come to that last 100-meter dash. And then you see yourself up on the big board at state, and it is just like, you see how far you have left to go, and it is just awful.
Did you treat yourself? Like, is there one food that you prevent yourself from having, and then afterwards you had at state after you won?
I'm so bad about nutrition, and I'm gonna get better about it for college. But my mom and I get fast food every single year together after, and she's like, "Where's it gonna be this year?" And I said, "Pancheros."
Oh,
that is my new favorite thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mexican
and there was a lady
celebrate.
there that she's like, "Were you at the track meet?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Are you Anya Olson?" And I was like, "Stop! You're making me feel like famous."
Well, you're a big deal. Like, I can tell you that right now. You recognize a heck of a lot more going forward after what you've done over the last couple of years. I really appreciate you doing this. Congratulations. Have a great summer. Congrats on graduation. We look forward to seeing you here in Fargo in a few months, okay?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anya Olson from Velva, 5-time state champion over the last 2 years, the 100, the 200, and the 400, and she won the 200 and the 400 with a broken clavicle, folks. It's pretty good stuff there. Appreciate her doing that. It was a great interview to wrap up our show. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up, get you ready. We get game 1 of the Stanley Cup final tonight. We'll get you ready for that between Vegas and Carolina. Hot Mike wraps on WDAY Extra right after this. All right, putting a bow on things on this Tuesday morning. Tomorrow's show, you'll meet one of the new Bison wide receiver commits. They got 2 over the weekend, one from Florida, the other from Texas. That'll be on the show tomorrow. Also, a special guest will be here in studio. I'm not going to give too much away today. We'll save that for our tease tomorrow, but let's just say you won't want to miss tomorrow's show. It should be a good one, much like every show is. But tomorrow, make sure you pencil 10 o'clock tomorrow. Should be a fun guest in studio. Let's get a couple other things in here. Shout out to our guy, Easton Stick. Got a new job, signed with the Indianapolis Colts. Colts have got some decisions to make a quarterback of their own. They're trying to trade, I think, Anthony Richardson there. Obviously, Daniel Jones is their guy. But Easton, after 2 years in Atlanta, is moving on from the Falcons and about to start crazy year 8 in the National Football League in Indianapolis. Again, if backup quarterback, man, if you can go past 5, that's a heck of a life. You got paid okay from his time, obviously, with the Chargers to then with Atlanta. He's made a handful of starts. I know he wants to play more. We'll see him next month. I assume he's coming back for his QB camp that he's held now the last 2 or 3 years. We'll get a chance to. We might be able to get him on the show here later this week. They're in OTAs, are they, in Indianapolis? So it might be tough to get him now. But if anything, we'll get him when he's back up here for his camp. He's made it a habit of coming in studio with us, which has been fantastic. So congratulations to him with a chance to see if he can win a job with the Colts when they resume with training camp at the end of July. Let's do some What to Watch. We got a lot to chat about here before we get out to the show. All right, it begins tonight. Stanley Cup Finals underway. WDAY will have all the games. It's pretty cool. The NHL and NBA Finals on network television. We got both of them. Game 1 is tonight in Raleigh, 7 o'clock. Game 2 will be on Thursday night. Game 3 is on Saturday. That's back in Vegas. They take a 2-day break and then play Game 4 a week from tonight back in Vegas. You don't think it'll be warm for that. And then Game 5 will be back in Raleigh on June the 11th. Carolina is the decided favorite in here. Vegas comes in with the fewest wins of a Stanley Cup finalist in over 20 years since Carolina made it in 2002 when the Hurricanes lost to the Detroit Red Wings in 5 games. Already the Hurricanes are playing a third Stanley Cup final, but just their first in 20 years since Matt Cullen, Rod Brindamore, as the coach of the team, won it back in 2006. So that's tonight on WDAY, 7 o'clock for that. Also tonight, you got Twins and White Sox coming up tonight, 6:30. Twins go for 2 in a row on Twins TV. And the men's golf semis on the Golf Channel. Watch this, folks. This is really high-quality golf going on tonight. 5 o'clock there with the championship match coming up tomorrow. Our thanks to our guests today, to Corey Herlickson, to Mike McFeely, to Luke Starcevic, and Anya Olson. Missed any of the show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching us. Have a terrific Tuesday. See you back here tomorrow.